Hello everybody, my name is Eric Hudson. I'm 24 years old. I was diagnosed with bipolar depression about 4 years ago, and I just want to say that not everybody has the luxury of saying they have a mental illness, but I do. Hee hee ha ha ha. It's not very funny. But the thing is that if you need help and you need support and you're like me in a situation where you have a diagnosis, you need to reach out to your friends and family and get support and help. I've dealt with suicide attempts. I've dealt with problems with my identity. I've dealt with all kinds of issues in my life. I just want to say that it's worth fighting for. It's worth living. And I want to clear up the stigma behind mental illness because I think I want to reduce some of the bad mantra that's behind that, because I think people with mental illness are still people. They're still, able to contribute to society and work hard towards their goals and towards their life purpose and to actually strive for greatness. And I think that, there's a lot of stigma, that's a bad stigma behind people that have mental illness because they think that, oh, they're crazy, they're this and that. But I just want to clear up what it is. So mental illness is when you have, especially for me, like in my situation, bipolar depression is when you have the combination of mania and depression. Mania is when you have euphoric feelings, you feel good, you feel like you're upbeat, you're uplifted, you're bulletproof. Nothing can stop you. Leads to bad things, though. It can lead to bad spending habits, lead to sexual destruction, so to speak. It can lead to all kinds of negative things that just aren't going to be progressive in your life. Now, the other polar opposite of that, polar opposite of that is depression. People think they know what depression is. Depression can be something for a normal person where you wake up, you stub your toe, you spill your coffee, you get laid off from work. That's going to lead to depression. It's going to lead to having a bad day. When you have a bad day, with a person that doesn't have a health diagnosis, it makes sense because it's caused by the external factors in their life. Bipolar depression is when you have internal factors that cause you depression. You wake up, you're in quicksand for no reason. The depression gets so dark, you have suicidal thoughts, you have negative feelings, you have, there's all kinds of command hallucinations, auditory hallucinations. You have all these things that are just make life so much more difficult. So when you're dealing with somebody that has a mental illness, I just want you to be patient with them. Don't force things on them, but realize that they're still a human being, that they can still contribute to society and to life. So for me personally, I have attempted suicide a few times. I'm not proud of it. I'm not waving that around like it's something that you never should glorify suicide. Suicide's something that people don't really talk about a whole lot because they're kind of afraid of the topic, but I think that needs to be brought out. There needs to be awareness brought to it. And I just want to say that for anybody out there like me, there's not all that many people that have mental illness. It's really, there's only I think it's the percentages is 1% of the population, so 1 out of every 100 people have a mental health diagnosis. But I've gone to psychiatric facilities, I've been in places, I've dealt with these issues. And I just want to say that, bringing awareness to these topics, bringing awareness and putting things out on the table makes things a hell of a lot more clear, and it makes things a hell of a lot more easy to sympathize with when you can understand it and when you know what's going on. So mania, I think I explained that earlier, is when you feel euphoric and you're upbeat. Depression is the opposite when you're down low. And it cycles between these two phases. Now, having schizoaffective disorder adds a whole other complication of things and stuff. If you have schizoaffective disorder, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm dealing with here. You know what's going on. Auditory hallucinations, command hallucinations. I'm going to make a few more of these videos because I want to touch on different topics. I want to touch on therapy a little bit. I want to talk about some other things. But just to clear things up, don't alienate people that have a mental illness because they don't deserve it. They're having a hard enough time as it is. Just be open. We all matter. You matter. I matter. It makes the world go round. So just open your mind to it. Open your heart to it. Just believe that if you're going through something, just believe that things will get better. They do. There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. There's going to be ups and downs, highs and lows, but I'm just telling you, it's worth the fight. It's worth living for. My life has been turned around, and I want you to know if you have something similar going on that your life can be turned around too.